Well, gang, how's things? Long time no speak. I haven't done a video for a few weeks. I'm here this morning at a factory, and so doing all the windows here on the inside and outside. It's quite a good job for us. It's a monthly account, so it's the windows are fairly clean, to be honest, already. It doesn't really take that much scrubbing. Here we are now. So about to go inside now. Now I do have some of the Mormon stuff here, but what I use on this job, because it's a monthly account, is I use the combinator as a one pass here. So because the windows are fairly clean already. What's really surprised me about the commercial work that we've got this week is that a lot of it has come off of Facebook. And I know the guys out there that say Facebook doesn't work, it's like money going down the drain, yada yada yada. And I can appreciate what you're doing. Maybe you have that experience. But for us, like we post every day on Facebook. What we're doing, anything interesting before and after results, all of that sort of jazz. And we get some, don't get me wrong, we get weeks where we get no jobs. We get likes and stuff like that, but we might get absolutely no jobs whatsoever from our Facebook posts. And it's easy in those times to say, oh, it doesn't work. But one of the factories that we were in doing the floor this week came off of Facebook, and we were 2-3 days at the job. Massive factory floors, and again, people had seen some of the results that we got off Facebook. Loads more inquiries off of Facebook, algae spray. So in all those weeks and weeks that you think Facebook isn't working, it does work. You don't know who's seeing it. All the time we get people say, oh, we see that job that you did a couple of weeks ago at that place, or a month ago, or 2 months ago. You were working out there and you did a really good job. So it's never wasted. Just don't even think about results, and just do a Facebook post every single day. Listen to our podcast, because myself and Harry rave on about Facebook all the time, and I don't want to make this a video about Facebook. But the amount of work we've got out of Facebook in the last couple of weeks has been absolutely epic. And with the weather being so bad, a lot of the work has been inside work too. So it means that we've had some of our busiest weeks, even though the weather's been so cat. But here, what I wanted to talk to you about is commercial work today. Yes, so commercial work. Commercial work is better paid, but you have to meet a certain criteria in order to be able to do commercial work. So I suppose starting at the very basics and then working your way up. Commercial work, for commercial work, you need the water-fed pole system. They won't allow you to come often with ladders and stuff like that, because health and safety is so strict. Now, all of these benefits, or all of these criteria, actually make your business better. So you get better when you do the commercial stuff. So don't think of any of these things as, oh, I have to do this to get the job, I have to do that to get the job. They're all benefits. So you have to have the water-fed pole system, which is better for you in the long run as well. Next, PPE. So trust me, I have to wear this helmet, or if I'm seen not wearing the helmet, I'm in trouble. High vis and steel toe cap boots is a must. So that PPE, I'm kind of working from the lower level up now. So you have to have those things. They're not all very expensive, and we should have them all anyway. I suppose then probably next after the water-fed pole system comes insurance. So for us, we need 6-point-something million insurance and 13 million employer's liability insurance to take on these jobs. So that's kind of the first question if you go somewhere. That they'll ask you, do you have the adequate insurance? Do you have employers insurance, and can we have the copy of your certification? Again, that's a benefit for you because you have it then for every one of your jobs. And really, you don't. It's not a legal requirement, but really you have to have it because if something was to happen, you'd be up the creek without a paddle. The next thing that you have to have is SafePass. Well, here in Ireland anyway. And I don't know what the equivalent is of that in other countries, but it's basically a course that you go on for safety, for health and safety in the workplace. I suppose it talks about the public, about yourself, just whatever you're doing. I suppose it could be used on building sites and stuff like that to allow access, but most factories won't let you in if you haven't got a valid SafePass course done. And then one of the things that I think scares guys more than anything else is having a method statement done and a risk assessment. Now, they are a lot of work, but after doing it once or twice, all you have to do is change a few details per job and I suppose having a safety statement. Here in Ireland, the Government Safety Authority have a website called besmart.ie. And if you go on there, you can do up a whole safety statement for yourself, and it's ticking boxes and it formulates it at the very end. And it's government approved, it's to one of the highest standards. So besmart.ie, and you can do out a full safety statement and risk assessment on there. It's so handy. But companies will want method statements from you, and they will want risk assessments as well. So a method statement is basically outlining in loads of sheets how you go about doing your job, because they have to know that you're going to do it safely when they're not there. So you might talk about arriving on the site, checking in with the security hut, making sure your equipment is in perfect working order, making sure that you've done all your safety checks on all your gear, making sure you have all the adequate PPE, how you're going to use the water-fed pole system. You'll place the van in an area that's safe to operate, that you're not going to be causing a hazard. You're going to put cones out on certain sections to warn the passing traffic. When you're inside, you're going to make sure you're not going to cause an obstruction. If you have any questions, you'll go to your contact person. That you will wipe up any spills, that you'll have warning signs inside if there are people around inside. Basically a method statement, basically telling people how you're going to do it. And also they'll want a risk assessment. And that, I suppose that's mainly what they're concerned about, because what they want to know is the risks that you're going to pose being on site. So I suppose you need to do up... and again, if you Google generic risk assessment, you can adapt it then towards window cleaning. So what are the risks per job? You do a risk assessment every time you go to a place anyway, because you'll pull up and you'll think, I'll put the van there because it's safer. I'll put the hose, and I'm actually going to just put it along the wall here so that people don't trip over it. So you're doing a risk assessment there. I'm going to wear PPE so I can be seen, hard hat, gloves if needed. If I use chemicals, how do I control the use of those chemicals? How do I do it safely? Basically going through all the risks that you pose to yourself and to the public and the customer, detailing them, and then writing down what you've done to minimize that risk. And that's it. So as you can imagine, if you do it for one commercial place, apart from changing the names, and maybe the risk assessment might be slightly different if there's different risks, or if you're doing a different job, the same, you can basically nearly copy and paste per commercial job. So guys, that's how we do it. And then you can't really pick up the phone to talk to any of these people unless you have that done first. So get that done first, and then start ringing commercial places, go giving quotes. I suppose a good wording to use is and if it's a big place anyway, the person you want to try and meet is the procurement manager. And if you can't, it might take repeated calls and try and get their email and try and contact them that way. But first of all, they're going to be skeptical of you ringing, because they might get loads of people ringing all the time. And for them, to change from their current provider is a big hassle, because they're busy doing their job, and all of a sudden they're going to have to go through loads and loads of papers of a new guy. How does he do it? What's the risk? I have to set him up on the remittance side of things. On the payment side, I have to set him up as a supplier on our system. It has to go through accounts. I have to get a purchase order. A purchase order is when you send your invoice, it's kind of that's their system of how do I describe it best? It's a rollover invoicing system. So if I invoice a factory, I have to know what number to tell their accountant, so that they go, oh yeah, there's previous authorization for this. So yeah, that's kind of what the hassle they had. So they have to go through so much hassle to change providers, which means if you're in, you're in, unless you do a bad job or you upset them somehow. But if not, that's how I get my commercial jobs. I hope that is of some help, and I'm going to keep on doing these inside windows here, and then that's me done for my Saturday.